Hi everyone, a long time no see. Welcome to 2025. I don't know which year, which month you're watching this video from, but it really doesn't matter. We're here to talk about mental health once again, and specifically about bipolar. But before we dive into the topic of this video, which is how to treat bipolar without medicine, and is it even possible? And spoiler alert, it is. I want to briefly introduce you to the sponsor of this video, Cozy Island. At first I thought probably it's not going to be super applicable to, the topic of this video. However, as a bipolar person, I tend to have mood swings, and as my mood changes, so my shoes. So throughout this video, I'll be changing the outfits and the shoes that were kindly provided to me by Cozy Island. And to be honest, it's one of the most comfortable shoes, and specifically heels. The material that these shoes are made with is very stretchy and allows your feet to breathe, and it's just super comfy. It feels like I'm walking on clouds. So thank you so much, Cozy Island, once again for sponsoring this video, and let's dive into the topic of today's discussion. But before we start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and put thumbs up to this video if you really enjoy watching this video or any other videos, because your support really means a lot to me. Thank you in advance. Basically, half a year ago, I filmed a video here on YouTube, and it was some sort of a coming out as a bipolar 2 person, bipolar spectrum person. And I wouldn't say that it gained a lot of attention, to be honest. However, it was life-changing for me personally, because there was a person who commented down below the video mentioning that they've been doing keto diet, and there are a lot of people who are doing keto, which helps them to stay in remission, meaning that they do not experience severe mood swings. And that was a sign for me from the heaven, I guess. So thank you so much. If you're watching this video, your comment was once again life-changing for me, and hopefully it will bring some change into your life if you're struggling. I don't like to say struggling. If you have some sort of a mental uniqueness and you want to control it, not completely without medicine, but at least try to minimize it. And once again, let's just put a disclaimer that this video is just my personal experience. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychiatrist, so I'm definitely not in a position to give you some sort of an advice of what you should and shouldn't do. But I really wanted to share with you this story because I have never heard about keto diet, or probably I've heard about it, but I just consider it to be another diet that helps people to lose weight, which is not the case. Well, it is the case with that, but it's not the main benefit that you get out of following this diet. And also important to mention that yes, I'm still taking medicine, and the reason that why I decided to try this keto diet is because before that I was doing another mood stabilizer that did not suit me in the end. So my psychiatrist and I decided to switch to a different one, which finally worked. However, I decided to complement it with the keto diet, and as a result, we decided to minimize the medicine that I'm taking. It's the most minimum dosage possible for antidepressant and a mood stabilizer. So instead of taking, like full pill or multiple pills, I minimize it to sort of like a placebo effect, as they call it. However, of course, it's not a placebo effect, but the most important part nowadays in my well-being is keto diet. Okay, let's just change something. So as I briefly mentioned before, I had zero clue like what keto diet is, so I had to sit down and educate myself on this topic. I basically use different resources, and I'll leave all of them down in the description box so you can have a listen and read as well. Different podcasts, different videos on YouTube, and I have even reached out to the host of one of the podcasts, a podcast specifically made about people with bipolar who are following keto diet and how many changes it brings to their life. But this person has not responded to me because probably they receive a lot of invitations every single day because it really works. But also what I really recommend, and it's not an integration by any means, ChatGPT or Gemini, whatever AI software you use. I would say that for me that was really the time when I started using AI technology at its fullest, because I had zero clue of what I can eat and what I cannot. And I also wanted to take into account my personal taste taste, the things that I really like, and probably there is a way that how I can integrate them into the keto diet. So ChatGPT was super handy, and I've even created like a separate folder, specific tab where I store all of the questions and everything related to keto. I know that it's not, necessary, but it's just like I like to keep things tidy. Okay, so what the hell is a keto diet? Well, I'm not a nutritionist. However, from what I understand, you should eat 70% of fats, healthy fats, 20% of protein. I know it's not a lot, but you also have a lot of fatty foods that have a lot of protein, and just 10% of carbs. And this is the most important part. But just stay with me for a sec. Саш, ты можешь уйти, пожалуйста? Саш!
Что?
Можешь уйти, пожалуйста?
Да.
And this is the most important part, because basically a keto diet is based on the idea that you have to maximize the amount of fats, healthy fats you eat per day, and minimize the amount of carbs you eat, because your body finally starts to produce the energy not from sugar and carbs, but rather from fats. And this process is called ketosis. A similar thing when you're doing fasting, you have the autophagy, basically the process where you get this as a result. Ketosis from the keto diet is a process, once again, where your body starts to burn fats for producing energy, and as a result people tend to have way less mood swings and energy swings, because it really depends on your sugar spikes situation, and it helps you to stabilize your mood and to stabilize your life. And also, as a nice bonus, people tend to lose fat, which is nice. But how do we achieve this ketosis state, and how we can know that we've achieved this ketosis? There is another very short formula, not even a formula, but just a rule that you need to keep in mind when looking at the ingredient list of the foods that you want to eat. So for example, for me, ChatGPT told me that with my weight, which is 49 kilograms, I should eat preferably up to 23 grams of carbs per day. And just for you to get an idea of how much is that, one peach contains on average 25 grams of carbs. But we're interested not in carbs in general, but in net carbs. And how do we count the net carbs? We take the amount of carbs minus fiber. And fiber is, everybody knows it's a good thing. You get a lot of fibers from veggies, from fruit, and nuts and fish. So you always need to remember that the net carbs is what we're looking at. This is the most important part. And for example, I love bread, and I found the protein bread, which has a lower number of carbs and a higher number of fiber. But it doesn't mean that the carbs become negative. It just means that your body counts them at 0. And overall, from my personal experience, it was very interesting just to observe how I started to actually pay attention to ingredient lists and how my diet really changed, because I've never realized how much sugar and carbs I eat per day, because ketchups, different sauces, even a lot of fruit, they have a lot of sugars and thus carbs. For example, in my case specifically, when I talked to ChatGPT, my new bestie, it told me that I should eat, if I just want to have something sweet and fruity, it should be berries, and specifically blueberries and raspberries. I do not remember what it said to me in regards to strawberries, which I also love, but of course it doesn't mean that you cannot have exceptions. However, if you want to increase the probability of you going into ketosis state, you should really try to stick to high fats, low sugar foods. And ketosis state for me personally feels like I have this cognitive spike in the very best meaning possible. For example, I really love this movie with Bradley Cooper. I think it's called Timeless, and I really feel like I have a lot of energy. I know what I need to do. I have a lot of energy to do that. So ketosis has different benefits that brings into your life and can really enhance the quality of your life, because you become basically more productive, more effective, more attentive. And also I want to share with you something that I recently found in regards to how you can check ketosis. You can buy on Amazon, or I guess on any other website, these sticks that you put into your urine. For example, if you can do this in a cup or somewhere else where you can put some liquid on a stick and it will show you immediately what level, what stage of ketosis are you in right now. I think for me, the max I had, I think 2 or 3, but to be honest, I felt like it's already enough, even probably more than enough, because it really reminded me of hypomania state that I got in my bipolar hypomania episode, where once again my cognitive skills are through the roof. I have a lot of energy, but at the same time I can sleep well and it does not affect my body and my brain in a bad way. And another cheat code that you can employ is using the MCT oil, preferably in the morning. So probably some of you have heard about Dave Asprey and his bulletproof coffee. I think it's just a coffee with butter or MCT oil as well, actually. But what I found out is that MCT oil really helps you to get into ketosis state faster. And this is because MCT oil is the highest derivative filtered from the coconut oil. And I just add a spoon of MCT oil in my morning matcha or coffee. And I know that some people just use butter instead of MCT oil, but MCT oil is better. And once again, it helps you to get into ketosis state faster. I'll leave the MCT oil I'm currently using in the description box so you can try it as well. I really love the taste and the smell. Probably I don't really like the packaging, but most of these products, they are like for bodybuilders and people that are following these semi-extreme diets, I guess, and I don't understand why the packaging is always so ugly. If you know, let me know in the comments below if you're working in one of those companies, because I will just give you a free advice on how to make it more appealing for people like myself or also your target audience. So for me personally, the keto diet journey has just started. I mean, I've been doing it for 3 or 4 months now. And yes, it is life-changing because not only I don't have the mood swings, I also lost some weight. And the most important part is that now I feel how I can feel better just by eating healthier foods and feeding the body with something which is rich in omega-3 and other healthy fats, which directly correlates with how I feel, with how I look. I think like my skin quality has also enhanced as a result, and basically it brings so many benefits that I genuinely do not understand why it's not that popular as it should be and why not a lot of people try, because especially with people who are using Ozempic, why you should do those kind of things if you have a keto diet, which actually is cost-free. I mean, yes, buying fish and nuts can be a little bit more expensive than buying a pack of crisps, but you have so many long-term benefits that it's definitely worth it. As someone who's also been a victim of the food disorder, I do hate the word diet in this phrase. For me, it's just keto, it's not a diet, because a diet, in many ways, it basically means that you have to restrict yourself, and because of those restrictions, I really doubt that mental health can enhance, at least from my experience, which was really sad. And with many other diets, there is always this struggle that in order to keep this diet, you need to buy certain things which are not available in most of the grocery stores. With keto, it's not the case. The only thing that I need to go one step extra is that I have an almond milk always in my fridge, and I bring it to my favorite coffee shop here in Barcelona, and they're gladly doing specifically cappuccino with this milk that I bring them, because they don't have this almond milk option, and almond milk is the best option on a keto diet. So to conclude all of that, ketosis and keto diet, they are really good for cognitive skills. They minimize the mood swings, and probably in some cases I heard that people completely go off meds and they just do keto and they do not experience those severe mood swings as people in bipolar. And 3, you can lose some weight, which is always nice, because you know, when you feel light and great, your life is great and light. And last but not least, it's not that hard to do keto diet, to keep doing this diet. I feel like me filming this video is not only to share this experience with you guys and spread the word about keto diet, but it also to say a huge thank you to the person who commented under my previous video about bipolar, because it was really something that changed my life in a better way, and it gives me hope that one day I will be off meds completely, and probably I feel like this day is gonna be very soon. And I also really want to emphasize this: keto is not only for people with mental uniquenesses, but also for regular people that want to feel great, that want to be as productive as possible. And before I forget, keto diet and intermittent fasting, they go hand in hand, just because when you eat a lot of fatty food, which is very rich and very fulfilling, it's easier for you to have, for example, like a really good breakfast, a light lunch. Sometimes people even skip the dinner because they're still full from their lunch and breakfast. But of course, it's not necessary. And in my case, for example, I still eat breakfast, lunch, dinner. I have some snacks in between, but the healthy snacks, of course, well, not just abstract healthy, but keto-friendly snacks. And then I probably will stop eating at like 9 p.m. and the next breakfast will happen for me the next day in 12 hours at like 9 a.m. or 10 a.m., which is like the light version of intermittent fasting. So it really helps me to stay fulfilled throughout the day without any problem. Well, I think that was it for today's video, and thank you so much for watching. I really hope that it was useful and informative for some of you, and probably brought some clarity to what the keto diet is and why you should probably try doing it as well. And before I let you go, guys, once again, let's say a huge thank you to the sponsor of this video, Cozy Island. And I really hope that your mood does not change as often as you can, and probably you should, change the shoes throughout the day. So if you want to feel like Carrie Bradshaw from Sex and the City, you have Cozy Island that can make you feel like in a movie. And thank you so much, and see you in the next video. Bye!